I live in Barbados in the Caribbean, a former British colony, and I am a
Indeed.
monarchist who pretty much longs for its reintroduction and also the British Empire. How do I go about convincing persons in my country that monarchy is the best way to go in a population where the older generation cling and revere independence, and the younger generation are very apathetic towards politics? Should it be done by a creation of a political party to expose those ideas?
Well, firstly, it's funny how what is local to Barbados is true everywhere.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it sounds familiar.
Yeah, the old people, it's true in the church. The old people are still deeply in the 60s when they were alive. You know, I can remember when I was young, I had a life. And they're, basically all over any dissent from that. And the young people are smart enough to know that granny and granddad are nuts, but what else do they have? And the answer is the internet, or whatever. No, it's an old problem. And then, of course, some of the kids pick up on things and they say, wait a minute, as this gentleman here does. Well, firstly, you've got an advantage down there in Barbados. Yeah, it's an independent country, all right, but the Queen is still your sovereign. That's why her face is on your coins, and why you have a governor general and not a president. So, you are a monarchy. I know that some of your politicians down there from time to time make noises about getting rid of it. Because, see, the problem with that kind of a setup, like we've got in Barbados, they've got in Canada or Australia, whatever, is that the political class, they can aspire to be prime minister, but they can never become supreme rulers of everything. That gold ring is just out of their worthless little grasp. Well, here's what I would suggest you do. I don't know about forming a political party because, places are different. But I'm on the board of the Canadian Royal Heritage Trust, which is a body that makes known to the best of our ability Canada's ongoing royal heritage, the importance of the monarchy to the life of the nation, and so forth. So this is something you can certainly do. Educate yourself and get together whatever friends are willing to do so to educate others on the monarchy in Barbados. How the Queen operates there, how the Governor General operates, the Queen in Parliament. Every government decree that comes out is, legally speaking, in your country, from the Governor and Council, the Governor General and Council, because legally speaking, it's the operation of the royal prerogative. I bet you didn't know that. Maybe you did. But these are the kinds of things you need to educate people about why having politicians occupy everything is not a good idea. Look at Dominica, if you don't believe me. Just a little ways north, and you'll see what happens. Or just look at Trinidad. I mean, again, I hate to shed reality into anything. But compare even Grenada and the other little monarchies, the West Indies, to their Republican, Trinidad and Dominica, their Republican counterparts. It's even Jamaica, which is in such a bad way in an ongoing manner. Imagine if Jamaica had been a republic. I mean, gee willikers. So these are the kinds of things that need to be pointed out, i.e. the benefits of the system you've already got. A, how the system actually works, which is something most people do not know in Crown realms and Commonwealth realms. B, what the advantages of that system are. That leaves us C, which is the always ongoing war with the politicians about removing everything they can of royal symbolism to try and slowly ease the monarchy out. So in some places they'll get rid of the royal arms from the courthouse, from the courtrooms and things like that. That's the kind of thing that has to be fought. And if possible, lobbied to put back if it's been taken away. You might want to sound out the two parties and demand to know where they stand on the monarchy and make it an issue. You see, if you start a party, a monarchist party, then it becomes a choice as opposed to becoming defenders of the Constitution. You see what I mean? So, what I would do is see how many of your friends you could get together, like-minded individuals, and form a, not a party, but a heritage protection trust or something like that. Educate people about the system, about its advantages, about the threats to it, and then demand from the politicians that they declare themselves as to where they stand. Remember that every one of them has sworn an oath to Her Majesty the Queen. And if they want a republic, they are perjurers. They're traitors. That's if oaths mean anything. And I'll tell you, I had an interesting conversation with an Australian friend of mine who's an attorney, Queen's Counsel, as it turns out, and a Republican. And I said the same thing to him. I said, you know, all of your Australian Republican politicians have sworn allegiance to the Queen. So, you know, where I come from, if you wanted to get rid of the Constitution and you were a politician who sworn allegiance to it, you'd be guilty of perjury and treason. And he looked at me and he gave me this long, long explanation as to how the oath didn't mean what it appears to me. He just went on and on and on and on. And I honestly, I couldn't follow him. Now, I've got to say he was of Irish descent, so keep that in mind. He was Irish. When he finished, I said, you know, John, God bless you. Here's the problem. You've got that fine Anglo-Saxon mind of yours. And you English people, you could do that. You could turn yes to no and no to yes. I'm just a stupid French Canadian. I'm not an Englishman like yourself. So, for me, yes is yes and no is no. And if I take an oath to something, I've got to try to keep it or die in the attempt. But I'll tell you what. I hope that one day I'm called by the opposing side in a case that you're involved in. And you know, when I get up there and I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, knowing your elastic view of oaths, I'll tell my truth. I'll tell the truth as it should be. The truth as it would be if we lived in a better world. And I know you won't have a problem with that because of your elastic view of oaths. So, anyway, bear that in mind. All of your politicians have sworn allegiance to the Queen. Demand from them how they managed to get out of it.
Well, you know what they say. There's that old saying, treason never prospers. For if it prospers, none dare call it treason.
That's correct. So make sure it doesn't prosper, and then it gets called treason good and hard. And by the way, your beaches, your rum,